Assalamualaikum and a very good evening. Hi, my name is Teacher Raja Nadia and I'm from KL, Guru Cemerlang for music. Okay, so welcome everybody tonight to our second series of Sinergi Ulum. So last time we had series number 1, so now we continue with series number 2 for SPM holders for 2022. So welcome everybody tonight for English session. Let me show you a short montage for our sponsor for tonight, which is Wildat University College. So let me show you a little bit of their corporate video before we start tonight's session with teacher Zarina, excellent English teacher from Penang. Okay, let's watch this video. So, tada! That is Widat College University. Let me see. Yes, no, Widat University. Okay, so, if you want to know more about Widat, don't forget you can just Google www.widat.edu.my. Okay, so thank you so much, Widat, for sponsoring us tonight. Okay, so before I call upon our teacher, let me introduce her a little bit, okay? So our teacher will be Teacher Zarina binti Hashim. She is an excellent English language teacher at SMK Mak Mandin, Pulau Pinang, in Penang. So this year marks her 19 years of teaching experience. She obtained her diploma education in English language studies from Mata Program Persekutuan Pulau Pinang, which is now we call IPG campus Pulau Pinang. She is currently pursuing a master's degree in TESOL at UKM Bangi. Wait. Okay, so let me call upon teacher Zarina.
Hi everyone. Hello, Assalamualaikum.
Salam. Welcome teacher. Thank you for being with us tonight.
You're welcome.
Okay, teacher Zarina, I think we can start tonight's session. Let me share your slide. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Assalamualaikum and good evening everyone. I'm teacher Zarina from SMK Mak Mandin in Penang. So I would like to thank Majlis Guru Cemerlang KL and also Widat University College for sponsoring our program tonight, and also Majlis Guru Cemerlang KL for inviting me again for the second time. So let us start with our session tonight. Okay, before we go further, okay, I would like you to, if you have a device, okay, or if you're on your laptop, can you please scan the QR code, or you can also type the link, or you can also click the link in the chat box, okay, in the chat, okay, so that we can let's get to know each other. We can get to know each other more, okay. I just want to know where are you connecting from. Okay, which part of Malaysia you're connecting from. Okay.
Okay, so we shall wait and see for their response. We have 28 participants tonight.
Okay.
Wow, there's someone here commenting. I remember seeing teacher last year. Ha ha ha.
Oh, okay. Hi, Perkasa SPM. Hi, how are you? Are you going to show the leaderboard?
Okay, wait, let me try and see.
I have to stop sharing screen, right?
Yep.
Okay. Sharing first. Okay. Okay. Okay, hold on for a second. Okay, my internet is a bit lagging here. Okay. Okay, we have few from KL, Selangor, Putrajaya, Sabah. Oh, okay.
There's someone who wrote they are from YouTube.
Okay, that's funny. Okay, so you can keep on giving your response. Okay. Oh, okay, we have from Johor.
Yeah, I think the furthest we have is from Sabah. Yay! Hello.
Hello. Which part of Sabah? Okay, I think we will go to the next slide. Okay, for those who just join us, okay, you can do our activity later. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing this first. Okay.
So the
Okay.
link will be at the chat box, comment box. So those who just
Yeah.
come in, you can continue doing the menti. So we just continue with tonight's
Yes.
session.
Okay. Okay. So we go back to this second slide. This one. Okay. Okay. Tonight I'm going to cover part one and part two from paper two writing. Okay. So we will look at part one and part two writing. So part one is basically the part that you have to give your response. Okay. To an email from your friends. Okay. Okay, and then part two will be on guided writing, which is essay. Okay, so we will continue with part one first. Okay. Okay, in this part one, it is also called as short communicative message or email. Okay, so what do you remember about this part? Okay, what do you have to do in this part? I mean, what do you have to write? Okay, how many words you are allowed or you are advised to write for this part? Okay, you can type in the chat. Okay, And then how many minutes should you spend doing this part? Okay, so you can type that in the chat. Okay, so at least I can see that, whether you have some ideas about how you want to score for this part. Okay, because based on my experience, this is the part where you can actually score good marks, okay, or even full marks, because you have done this in your form 3. Okay, same question in part 1, question 1 in writing paper. Okay, okay, in this part 1, short communicating message or email. Okay, this is an obligatory question. That means you don't have any choices. You have to answer this part, and it carries 20 marks. Okay, it carries 20 marks. And you are required to write a short response in about 80 words. Okay, 80 words. When I say in about, means you can write slightly longer than 80 words. Okay, not necessarily that you have to stop at 80 words. Okay, but you can slightly write up until 100 words, or slightly less than 100 words. Okay, the reason why we are not trying to stop your ability in writing, the reason why we are giving you this guideline on how many words and so on, is because we want to make sure that you have enough time to cover the other two parts, which are also important. Okay, so this is a very short response, so we don't want you to spend too much time on this part. Okay. Okay, now let us look at what do we have next. Okay, in this part 1, okay, this is the marking assessment. I'm sure your teachers have taught you, or have when you do your exercises, your teachers will normally have this at the end of your essay. So this is the same thing like what you have in form 3. Okay, what you had in form 3. So we have 4 elements of marking. Number 1 is content. That means we are looking at your content based on the task that you are given, 5 marks. And communicative achievement, okay, the second element that we're looking at, which is also 5. Then organization of 5 marks also. And language, okay, so language of 5 marks. So altogether the total marks will be 20. So in fact, this element, or this criteria, are the same for all 3 parts in your writing paper, but the requirement or the expectation from you is not the same for part 1 and part 2 and also part 3. Okay, although the marks are the same, but the requirement, the expectation that we want to see in your writing is not the same. Okay, so I hope you understand on that part. Okay, next. Okay, here we are going to look at some tips, okay, for scoring good marks. So just now we mentioned about the content, the communicative achievement, and so on. So now let us look at what do you need to do when it comes to content. Okay, content is where we want you to answer the task given. It's not that you write what you know. Okay, we want you to be able to answer the task given, okay, or you fulfill the task requirements. So let's say in part 1, you are required to write an email, okay, to a friend and answer all the questions in the task, okay, and answer all the questions in the task, because normally in part 1, you will have, normally we have 3 questions, okay, and then you have to answer all the 3 questions, plus you write to your friend, okay, you write an email to your friend. So if you have fulfilled all these requirements, you will get 5 for your content, which I think is not that difficult for all of you. Okay, and then go on to the next element, which is communicative achievement. So this is the part where we are looking at the use of the correct format. Okay, if you are writing an email, you have to use the correct format of an email, and the correct register. That means the words that you use for each sentence, okay, or each paragraph, okay, must be following the format of an email. And the tone. So the most important thing here is the tone. Okay, you have to make sure that if you are writing an email, the tone must be to a friend, not to a principal or to a company and so on. It must be, the tone must be a friendly tone. Okay, so you have to make sure you um, take that into consideration. Okay, for example, if you are suggesting a place, okay, there is a task where you have to suggest a place. So make sure the place that you are suggested is appropriate to the task requirement. Okay, or if you are required to give the activities that you have to do during that during let's say for example a picnic or anything, so you have to make sure you give the appropriate activities for a picnic, for example, and what are the things that you should bring if you're going for a picnic. So all these things should be in line or should be in accordance to the task. Okay, if going for a picnic, make sure the activities are um, suitable for the picnic. Okay, now we move on to organization. So what is organization? So here we are actually looking at the use of linkers or connectors. Okay, so I'm sure you know what are linkers. So linkers are words that you link from one sentence to another. And also you have to take into consideration, or you have to make sure you use the cohesive devices, okay, to link your ideas. So there is slightly different between linkers and cohesive devices. We are not just want to see the use of linkers, but we also want to see the ability of you to use cohesive devices in this part. Okay, not many, but at least you show your ability to use the cohesive devices. Okay, so linkers, we have words like and, but, so. Okay, so these are the normal linkers. Okay, and also we have phrasal items like because, first of all, finally. So this is under linkers. These are some of the example of linkers. Okay, how about cohesive devices? Okay, cohesive devices are words or phrases like moreover, it may appear, okay, as a result, other than that. So all these are actually more sophisticated linkers. So we call it as cohesive devices. So make sure you use one or two of these coaching devices in your email in this part. Okay, and we also look at your punctuation in this organization. So make sure you write your sentences and then you leave your full stop, your commas, or your other punctuation marks. Okay, okay, for language. Okay, for language in part one, we are looking at the use of the suitable vocabulary, okay, and then your grammar and also your spelling. So all these three areas will be looked into for your language. Okay, so these are some tips. If you have any question, you can type in the chat. Okay, I will try to answer it. Okay, okay, now let's look at the next one, which is the task. Okay, so if you notice in your textbook, okay, normally they will write that as writing task. So actually writing task is a question, it's your own question. Okay, if you're that a question that you have to answer. So let us analyze a sample question, okay, in this part one. Okay, let's say for example, you must answer this section. Of course, this is an obligatory section. You have to answer this. Okay, question number one. You receive an email from your new friend, Betty, who has just moved to your hometown. So this is the first scenario, the situation that you have to understand. Okay. And then below there, there is the email from your friend. Hi. Okay. So this is your friend's writing. Hi, the school holiday is finally here. Let's go for a picnic with our classmates. So you have to uh, know the situation because you have to give your response, okay, when you after you have read the question. Okay, and look at the sentence that I highlighted. Okay, look at the sentence or the question that I highlighted. For example, where shall we go? Okay, so this is one of the questions. Remember just now I told you about the content. So make sure you answer all the question in the task. So this is the content. Okay, where shall we go? First question. What can we do there? Second question. The third one, what should we bring? So these are the three questions that you have to answer, okay, following the format of an email for you to be able to get full mark for your content. Okay, what is the full mark for your content? 5. Okay, so if you answer these 3 questions and you write an email to your friend, the 5 marks is already in your hand. Okay, and then your friend say, I'll be waiting for your reply and bye. Okay, so another tips that I want to share with you is, if possible, try to answer all the 3 parts. Okay, even if you are not really good in your writing or in writing an essay, please answer all the 3 questions. That's why we want to make sure you have time to answer all the 3 tasks, because if you let's say we have 4 components, right, just now in our marking assessment. So let's say you can get 5 for your content, maybe you get slightly lower marks for your communicative achievement, so but you still have marks for your content, so that can help you to improve your marks in this writing, in this paper 2 writing. Okay, so please try your best to answer all the 3 questions in this paper. Okay, next. Okay, now let us look at, okay, so here teacher give you a technique. Okay, I would like to introduce a technique that I normally use with my students, okay, in writing an email, in planning an email for this part. Okay, so I name it as gimmies. So if you are following, okay, this technique or strategy, I am sure you are not going to be far from getting the full marks of 20 for your part 1. Okay, so what is gimmies? So let us look at gimmies. Okay, first G. Okay, you can look at steps number 1. Okay, step 1 under greeting. So that is where G comes from. Okay, greeting. So G, the first G is actually for greeting. Okay, so step number 1 is greeting. So what do you need to write for greeting? So normally we will write hi or hello. Okay, or how are you? Okay, and then after that, look at step number 2. Okay, for the introduction, the small letter I here is for introduction. I. Okay, so for introduction, what do we write? Okay, normally we will write, how are you? How are things? How's life? Okay, how is everything with you? It's good to hear from you. So this is the second step, okay, under introduction. So it has to be a friendly opening because you are writing to your friend. So that is where the tone comes in. Okay, you have to make sure you write the correct tone when you write an email to a friend. Okay, and then just now for the first step, okay, the hi, hello, normally we write that when we are writing to a friend. So it's very informal because this is email, okay, to a friend. It's very informal. So the tone must be correct, okay. Okay, step number 3. Look at step number 3. Okay, step number 3, we go to MI. So remember just now, G, greeting, I, introduction, MI stand for main ideas. Okay, main ideas are actually the 3 questions from the task just now, okay. For example, where shall we go? What can we do? Okay, and what should we bring? So these are the 3 main ideas that you have to respond to or give your answers to these 3 questions. Okay, so again, for these main ideas, when you are writing your ideas or giving your responses, you have to be friendly tone. It has to be in a friendly tone and and you use all the informal register. Okay, and don't forget, okay, to use the connectors and also cohesive devices. Okay, don't forget to use that. Okay, and then for step number 4, okay, we go to the capital letter of E. So what does E stands for? E stand for ending. So when we have the introduction, we have the ending. So what do we write for ending? Okay, you can either write back soon and tell me all about it, or you can also say bye or bye for now. It has to be something that showing that you are going to stop your email. Okay, see you soon, or that's all for now, or write soon, or sometimes we write I hope, okay, to receive your reply. Okay, or I hope my advice can give you ideas on which activity you want to choose. Okay, so that is the indicator that you are going to stop writing your email. Okay, okay, again, for the tone, it has to be friendly endings. So the remarks on the third column is actually focuses on the tone. Okay, okay, last one, the last step is for this email is S, capital S. Okay, which is stand for signature. So S stands for signature. So I would suggest that you just write your name. You don't have to really sign your name. Just write your name. Let's say your name is Aiman. So you just write Aiman. You don't have to sign where we cannot read. Okay. So we want to be able to see your name below your when you after you end your email. So you just write your name. Okay. So this is the technique that teacher use in planning for writing an email in part 1. Okay. Okay, if you follow this step, you will not go wrong. Okay, next. Okay, we are going to look at the sample email. Yes, now we are going to have the sample email. Okay, so I hope you will pay your attention. Okay, because I'm going to elaborate. Okay, all the technique that I shared just now with you. Gimmies, remember? Okay, gimmies. So where does all these techniques goes in the email? Okay, first line, normally you will have to write your friend's email. Okay, you can write just now. Remember the question? You receive an email from your friend Betty. So now you want to reply to Betty. So you write to Betty at coolmail or hotmail.com and subject. Okay, subject must be something that relates to the task. Let's say just now you said in the question you want to go for a picnic with your friend, right? Okay, so you and your classmate would like to go for a picnic during the school holidays. So you just write something that relates to the picnic. For example, teacher write here, let's go for a picnic. Okay, and then, okay, remember gimme, so start with G. What does G stand for? Okay, G stand for greeting. So how do we write the greeting? Hi Betty or hello Betty. Okay, and then followed by comma. Okay, that's the punctuation, remember? Okay, and then move on to the next line. Okay, after G is small letter I. What is I? Yes, I is introduction. Okay, what do we write for introduction? Okay, so here I wrote there as how are things. Okay, you can write other examples if you want. How are things? It's good to hear from you. So that first line is already mentioning about or is already indicates your introduction. Okay, how are things? It's good to hear from you. Just enough. Okay, for your introduction. Okay, after I remember what's the next step? Step number 3. What's step number 3? Yes, main ideas. This is the most important part. Okay, main ideas. So we have 3 questions. Remember, 3 questions. Where shall we go? Okay, what can we do there? And what should we bring? Right. Okay, so you have to have main idea 1, which is giving your friend a suggested place to go. Okay, for a picnic. Okay, let's see how I come up with that idea. Okay, of suggesting a place. Okay, I know the right place. I know the right place for our picnic. Okay. So you can say that when I mention I know means showing that you and your friend has connection there. Okay. That means maybe you have when you have gone to picnic before, okay, but now you want to have some to go to somewhere different, okay, so you can just mention that I know the right place, not any place, but the right place for our picnic. Okay, so you can see the tone there. Okay, the tone to a friend is there. Okay, okay. Next sentence. I suggest we go to Batu Ferringhi Beach in Penang. Okay, so because I'm from Penang, so I would like to give a place one of the places. Okay, you can go for a picnic in Penang. Okay, so I suggest we go to Batu Ferringhi Beach in Penang. So you have already mentioned the place. Okay, so main idea 1 has already fulfilled. Okay, your first task has already fulfilled. You have answered the first question. Okay, got it. Number 1. Okay, now we go to number 2. We can build sandcastles. Remember, question number 2, you have to give some activities, okay, that you can do that you can do at the picnics at the beach. Okay, so make sure you give suitable activities, okay, for a picnic at a beach. Okay, because remember just now in communicative achievement, okay, you must be able to give the suitable activities. Okay, you cannot say that if you go to the beach you want to like play football, for example. No, it's not suitable, right? But you can play beach volleyball. Okay. So the first activity that I give there is we can build sandcastle as the beach is a suitable place for it. Okay, can you see or not? First, I give the activity, build sandcastles, and I give the justification why did I suggest that activity. Why did I suggest building sandcastle? Because the beach is a suitable place for it. Okay, so that is how you justify your first activity. Okay, that is first activity. So when just now the question asked what activities, that means you should give more than one activity, not only one, more than one, at least two. Okay, okay. Next sentence. Okay, furthermore, okay, this one teacher highlight because what is furthermore here? Yes, furthermore is cohesive devices. Okay, one of the cohesive devices. So you have to give or you have to use, okay, one or two cohesive devices in this email in part one. So furthermore, we can indulge in jet skiing or watch the sunset just like we always do. Okay, so this is the second activity. So that is why teacher wrote there as MI2, main idea 2. Okay, or question number 2. Okay, or for the second activity, sorry. Okay, second activity. So just now we mentioned building sandcastle. Now we mentioned about going for jet skiing or watching the sunset, just like we always do. See or not? The last part there, I wrote there, just like we always do, meaning to say that you are actually giving a friendly tone there. Okay, the presence of the friendly tone is there. Okay, okay. Moving on to the third question. Okay, what is the third question? What are the things that you need to bring? Okay, let's see what are the things that we need to bring. It's better to bring along extra clothes. Okay, so that is one of the things that you should bring because maybe you want to play at the beach. Okay, so you will get wet, so you have to have extra clothes. Okay, and a mat as well in case we need those. Okay, so again, so the thing that teacher suggests for this activity to what are the things to bring should be suitable to the activities that you can do at the beach. Okay, so we can bring extra clothes or we can also bring a mat, okay, as well in case we need those. Okay, moreover, okay, this is another cohesive devices. Moreover, tell others to bring some food. Okay, that is, I think, is a must. If you're going for a picnic, you need to bring some food. Why do we need to bring food? Okay, so I justify here by saying that because it's quite expensive there. Okay, so that is how you justify your points. Why you want to ask your friend to bring some food and snack? Because it is quite expensive, okay, to buy there. Okay, and then the third one, okay, that is the third question, okay, which is under main idea number 3. So the last sentence there, I'm thinking of asking Kim and Tina to join us. So this is just an extra information you want to provide to your friend, that you are saying that you want to invite your friends, other friend from other class maybe to join you for the picnic. Okay, the more the merrier, right? So I include one saying, I would say one idioms. Okay, the more the merrier, right? Okay, that would be your main idea number 3. So that concludes the main ideas of answering the 3 questions. Remember the 3 questions just now? Okay, so that take us to the next step, which is on the E. What is E? E is the ending. Yes, you are right. E is ending. Okay, so how do we end our email? So you can write back soon and let me know of any updates. Okay, you can just give the indicator that you are going to end your email by writing that sentence. Okay, bye for now. So that is your ending. And don't forget to leave your name after that ending. Okay, so you just write your name like what I did there. Just write your name, Lina. So that is your S. So remember, everyone, what is the technique that we use here? Okay, so
Gimme.
remember for part 1 email, remember gimmies. Okay?
Okay, so let's take a short
Yeah.
break before we continue to the next section. Let's watch a short
Okay.
video from Midan. Okay, teacher?
Okay, no
All right,
problem.
let's go.
Let's go.
Wow, okay. So that's a short video on Widat University College. So those of you who are taking SPM this year, then you feel like you want to continue studying, you can even go to Widat.
Okay.
Okay, teacher, let's continue.
Okay, let's continue. Okay. Okay, let's continue. Where were we just now? Okay, we the last slide that we did was on the sample email, right? Okay, now do you have any questions? So you can type in the chat if you have any questions. Okay. Okay, now we look at the next one. Okay, which is on yes. Okay, you have to you have to recap what we have learned in part one. Okay, so I hope you can scan the QR code or you can use the link in the chat to go to the menti.com. Okay, okay, let's see your response. Okay. Okay, those who have just joined us, you can also uh, use the link or type at the scan the QR code. Okay.
Yeah, instead of scanning, you can also check the comment box or chat box. The link is there, just copy and paste.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay, we shall wait for teacher Zarina. She will share screen and see if we have
Yes. Yes.
any answers from all of you.
Okay.
So don't forget, yeah, this YouTube will be saved at MGCKL. So if your friends miss this or you want to rewatch again, you want to repeat what teacher Zarina shared, just make sure that you subscribe to MGCKL's YouTube channel and you can pass the link to your friends for those who did not make it tonight lah. Okay?
Okay. Okay. Yes, very good. We have one response from the audience on one example of cohesive devices. Okay. Maybe you can, for instance, you can get from the sample email that teacher shared just now. Okay. Okay, keep on coming your answers to the question. Okay, so we will try to come back to this one after we have finished discussing all uh, the second part, which is part two. Okay, after this we are going to go to part two. Okay, on guided writing essay. Okay, so you can still click the link. Okay, in the chat. Okay, to leave your response for this question. Okay. Furthermore, yes.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, there's one more furthermore. Good.
Okay. 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 Let us continue with our slide. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so our second one is about comprehension.
Is part two guided writing
Oh, guided.
essay. Mm. Okay. Okay. So we have. Okay. Let's continue. Okay, with our part two, which is on guided writing essay. Okay. So this is part two. This is also the part that you have to answer. You have no choices, you have no options. You have to answer this part. Okay. Okay, let's look at what are the requirements for this part. Okay. Okay, in this part, okay, again, it also carries the same 20 marks. Okay, remember, in part one, in fact, all the three parts carries the same mark of 20. Okay. So, but, okay, look at number three. Look at number three, everyone. Number three, you have to write a slightly longer text. Okay, slightly longer text. Just now, remember in part one, what was the suggested number of words in part one? Okay, so it was 80 words, right? Okay, in about 80 words. But this one is in the range of 125 to 150 words, slightly longer. Okay, and you will be given a stimulus for you to give your response to. Okay, so that is where we want you to be able to time yourself. Okay, but for, let's say, for part one, okay, normally I would suggest that you spend about 20 minutes for part one, but for part two, you should spend approximately about 30 minutes. Okay, because in this paper you only have 1 hour and 30 minutes, and you have to answer 3 questions. Okay, email, this essay, and the third one is either article, review, or story. Okay, so there are 3 questions, remember. So that is why we want you to not to write longer essays. Okay, especially for part one. Okay, so you have to train yourself to write very precisely, especially in part one, and to write between the number of words suggested. Okay. Okay, continue with the next one. Okay, again, the marking assessment, as I told you before, it is the same for part one and part two, but the weightage is not the same. Okay, the expectation that we want to see in your essay is not the same. Okay, although they have the same marks of content, communicative achievement, organization, and language, but what we want to have, what we want to see in communicative achievement of 5 in this part is not the same from part with not the same with part 1, but for content it's the same. Okay, content mean part 1, part 2, and part 3. Content marks, the requirement or the expectation is the same for all 3 parts. The other thing that difference are the communicative achievement, organization, and language. Okay, Okay, let's continue with the next one. Okay, now we are going to look at tips. Okay, so if you can recall in part one, we there is slightly different um, points here, okay? Different expectation here, different information that you need to look into. Okay, for example, content. Content, I told you, it's the same. Okay, you have to write an essay here for part two, and also they will give you about 3 questions. Sometimes a response or a task they give you 2 questions. Sometimes they give you 3 questions. Okay, but as long as you answer all these 3 questions or 2 questions, and you write a format of an essay, you will get 5 marks for your content. Okay. Okay, we move on to the communicative achievement. So for this part, okay, we are going to look at the correct format. Again, correct format of essay. Okay, and then just now in part one is the email, so it's not the same format. Okay, and then the register, of course, and the tone. Okay, tone here, is it the same with part one email? No, it's not the same. Okay, tone here is actually more formal. Okay, not like what you did in part one email. Okay, tone here is slightly formal compared to the first one. Okay, and then you have to introduce the topic. Okay, for essay, there is a formula, there is a format for writing an essay. Okay, you have to have the introduction, and you need to have the conclusion, and in the middle you need to have the contents, okay, of a few paragraphs. Okay, so let's say you want to talk about the topic of money, so you have to introduce that in your first paragraph. Okay, plus your own ideas and also reasons. Okay, so reason or justifications, okay, is very important in writing an essay. Okay, be it in part one or part two and part three, you need to justify your ideas or your reason. Okay, why you say this, why you give this suggestion, why you give that, why you suggest that place, why you say that you have to bring that things to for a picnic. Okay, so you have to justify that. Okay, for the organization. Okay, now in this part, part two, just now if you recall in part one email, you do not I don't really put it in the form of paragraphs, remember? So what the teacher did just now in gimmicks, I give you in the form of steps, right? Okay, but for this part you have to write in paragraphs. Okay, that's why the word paragraph comes in here. So each paragraph focuses on a separate idea. Okay, so just now if you have 3 questions, so one question is in one paragraph. So the content or your main ideas already comes in 3 paragraphs, plus your introduction, 4, and last one your conclusion. So a minimum of 5 paragraphs. Okay, a minimum of 5 paragraphs are needed for this part. Okay, okay. Now let's look at the next one. Okay, so a variety of cohesive devices. Okay, remember part one, they do not mention the word variety. They just mention the word cohesive devices. But here, okay, they want to see a variety of cohesive devices, meaning to say that it has to be more than 2. Okay, not only one, not only 2, we want to see throughout the essay. Okay, if possible, one paragraph, one cohesive devices. To link your ideas, for example, again, the word therefore, moreover, other than that, in addition, furthermore, and etc. Okay, so these are the example of cohesive devices. How about linkers, teacher? Yes, of course, linkers will be there. Throughout your essay, linkers will be there. Okay, you have all the and, you have the but, the so, and so on, because that one will be throughout your essay. Okay, we do not want to only see that. We want to see the present or the ability of you using the cohesive devices. Okay, please bear that in your mind. I'm sure your teachers are also focusing on this. Okay, the use of cohesive devices. Okay, language. Okay, now just now in part one email, they just mentioned vocabulary, grammar and spelling, right? Okay, now see, okay, for the language, okay, what is the expectation? The appropriate use of some less common words means that some less common word mean not the everyday words. We want to see your ability to use appropriately, okay, some sophisticated words. Okay, some sophisticated words like, for example, instead of saying beautiful, maybe you want to say stunning. Okay, you want to say excellent. You want to say mesmerizing. Okay, you want to use some of the less common words. Okay, but make sure you use it correctly. Okay, if it's not correctly used, then there is no point of using it. Okay, so still your marks for language will be low. Okay, now point number 2, simple and some complex structure. Okay, so we want to see not only simple but also some complex structure, complex sentences. Okay, like for example, the use of all the all the WH word like who, okay, where, which, when, okay, or other uh, pronouns, okay, to show that your structure is complex. Okay, not I mean you have to have more than two two independent clauses, two independent clauses. Okay, more than two independent clauses in the sentence. Okay, more than two activities in the sentence. So you need to be able to use that complex structures in your essay, okay, for this part 2. And if you have errors, okay, of course there will be errors, but make sure that errors do not impede the meaning. Do not that means the meaning can still be understood. Okay, so meaning can still be determined, meaning can still be understood, although you have some small errors, I would say. Okay, okay, but if you have errors throughout your essays, okay, so that will definitely affected your language marks. Okay, now let's continue with the next slide. Okay, okay, this is the sample question or the sample task for part 2. Okay, part 2, you must answer this question. Write your answer in 125 to 150 words in an appropriate style. Okay, that means there is a format for writing an essay. Okay, what is the format? Okay, we will soon look at it. Okay, so look at the question first. Your class has been discussing how they spend their money, and your teacher has asked you to write an essay about what you would spend your money on. So this is the question, or this is the first scenario that you have to identify. That means you have to take note of the topic that you're going to write here. So let's say you can see teacher highlight the first line there from the question, how they spend their money. So that is your topic that you have to elaborate later. Okay, you have to talk about money. Okay, and then continue to the next line, next paragraph. In your essay, this is where your main ideas come in. Okay, your main ideas come in, where you have to make sure you respond to all the three main ideas. Okay, look at the main ideas. Number 1, what you would like to buy. Okay, so you have to give your ideas about what you would like to buy. That is the main idea number 1. Okay, number 2, reasons for your choice. Okay, let's say you want to buy a notebook or a handphone. So why would you like to buy that? So you have to provide your reasons, okay, in this main idea number 2. Okay, the third main idea, okay, where do you usually buy these things? Okay, that means you want to have to explain, okay, or you have to give your ideas. Where do you normally buy this thing? If you are buying a handphone, so normally where do you buy a handphone? Either you buy from Shopee, or you buy from the electrical shop, okay, or you buy from Sengheng or anywhere, okay, in a supermarket and so on. So you have to give the name of a place, okay. And remember, for all these three main ideas, you have to provide reasons, okay, for all the ideas given here, okay. And then if you notice, okay, the question given to you is not very challenging. It's not that difficult. Why? Because, okay, if you notice the first main idea, what? Okay, they just ask you what you want to buy. And then number 2, reason is actually from the question of why you want to buy. And the third one is where. So what, why, and where. So actually this year, or this second year of the new format, What they want to see is your ability to give your ideas. Okay, if you are not confident, or if you are not, if you are confused with your question of what you need to write, so how are we going to get your ideas, okay, pouring in? So that's why they give you a very simple question so that they can get more ideas from you. They want to see more of you than you what the question can give you. So, I mean, the question is just to make sure that you understand the task and you give your ideas. Okay. Okay. And then the last one is your task. Write your essay using all the notes. Where are the notes? Okay. You can see the three questions that teacher highlighted in yellow in the main idea. So that is your notes. Okay, here they call it as notes. Okay, and giving reason for your point of view. So apart from giving your ideas, apart from answering the three questions, you have to give your reason for your point of view or your justification. Okay, so this is the question. So I would suggest that every time you get a question, every time you do a question with your teacher in class, please take a highlighter and highlight all these things so that you will not miss out any important ideas that you will, so that you can get full marks for your content. Okay. Okay, next. Okay, this one. Okay. Okay, this is another technique, okay, or another strategy that teacher use for part 2 in planning your essay. Okay, so as you see there, okay, the letter T and C. Okay, in part 1, do you still recall the technique that teacher gave just now? What is the technique in part 1? Okay, you can type in the chat. Okay, in part 1. Now this is in part 2. Okay, so part 1, gimmies. Yes, you are right. Part 2 is T and C. So we will soon find out what is T and C, teacher. Okay, so look at all these paragraphs, okay, or this planning. So remember, in this part, we are going to write in paragraphs. Okay, in part 1 just now, teacher just give you in the form of steps. Now it has to be in paragraphs. Okay, why? Because remember, this is 125 to 150 word, but it is not going to be a very long paragraph. Okay, each paragraph will definitely consist of about, let's say, 5 to 7 sentences. Okay, or you can write slightly more if you have time. Okay, but remember, you still have one more task to complete in part 3. Okay. Okay, let's look at what you need to write in paragraph 1. Okay, paragraph 1 is where you write your introduction. I think you know, right? For every essay, the first paragraph must be the introduction. So what do you need to introduce in this paragraph 1? Remember, we are going to talk about money, right? Yes. So you are going to introduce the topic of money. Okay, so you're going to talk about money. You're not going to go into why you want to do with the money, right? Yet, okay? You're not going to go into why you want to spend your money with, okay? You just talk about money. What is money and its importance? That is what you need to write for your introduction, okay? Because in essay writing, if you look at the textbook, okay, there is a part in writing where you have to learn how to write a good introduction, a strong introduction. Okay, if you are in Form 5, that is in the textbook. Okay, so you need to know how to write, okay, the introduction for essay. Okay, so this is also a part of the format. Okay, because if you don't write introduction, so your format will not be able to get full mark for your format. Okay, so that is where the word T comes from. So T here stand for what? Yes, T stand for topic. Okay, T stand for topic. So you need to introduce the topic first. Okay, now let's move on to the next one, paragraph 2. Okay, paragraph 2 is describe what you like to buy. Remember the three questions? Question number 1, what you want to buy? This is where you write your ideas. So you go or you write that in your next paragraph, which is paragraph 2. Okay, so you describe what you like to buy and the details. Okay, so I name it as N1. N1 stand for, N is actually stand for notes, because in the task just now, if you remember, in the question, use all the notes given. That's why teacher used N for notes. Okay, so note number 1. Okay, so remember note 1, you have to elaborate in paragraph 2. Talk about what you want to buy. Describe, okay, and the details. Okay, you don't give the reason yet. Okay, now you go to paragraph 3. Okay, paragraph 3, for example, second question, reason why you want to buy the item, okay, or why you want to buy the item. Okay, so give a few reason, because in the task they say reasons, not one, at least two. So I would suggest you give 3. Okay, give a few reasons why you want to buy the item. So that will be under N number 2. What is N? Yes, N is notes. Okay, notes number 2. Okay, now next paragraph. So remember just now I did mention that in this part you have to write one idea in one paragraph. Okay, so each paragraph talks about one idea. Okay, separate ideas. So paragraph 3 just now about why you want to buy the item, right? And number 2, now we go to paragraph 4. What do we need to write in paragraph 4? Yes, the next question, which is where do you normally buy the item? So you need to identify what you want to buy first. Then you give your reason. Then only you identify the place. Okay, so make sure you give the correct place. Okay, of what you want to buy, of 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 the item that you want to buy. So you make sure you give the suitable place for you to buy the item. Okay, so that will be under N3. What is N3? Notes number 3. Okay, it is easier for you when I say N1, you know that is notes number 1, because always go back to the task. Okay, so that you will not go far from the task. Because remember, you have to answer the task, fulfill the task, not that you write what you know. No, please do not do that. Okay, and then the last paragraph, okay, again is your conclusion. Paragraph 5 is actually your conclusion. So you can write your conclusion by restating how you spend your money. So you just reinstate what you want to buy with the money and give one concluding sentence. So again, this is also being highlighted in your textbook of how to write a conclusion. Okay, a concluding sentence. Okay, so introduction, main ideas, and conclusion. Okay, the basic format for writing an essay. Okay, so last one, the letter C is actually stand for conclusion. So remember how the technique of answering an essay, part 2 writing. Remember T and C. T for what? T for topic, N for notes, and C for conclusions. Okay, so remember T and C for part 2. Okay. Okay, if you have any question, don't forget to write in the chat. Okay.
Yeah, don't worry. If there are questions, I will pop it out for you.
Okay. Okay. Next, we move on to the okay. So we come to the sample essay. Yeah, this is what you have been waiting for. Okay, a sample essay on the task just now. Okay. So remember T and C. First paragraph is the topic. So let's see how do teacher write the introduction for that topic of money. Remember, we only talk about money and its importance here. Okay, and its importance here. Okay. Okay, many people say money is not important in life. Okay, so that is your first sentence of how you want to introduce the topic of money. I beg to differ. To me, that means you do not agree. Okay. To me, money is important to buy our necessity to survive in this challenging world. So why you do not agree? So you have to give your justification, your reason why you said that you do not agree that money is not important. Okay, because you mentioned that nowadays we need to have money to buy all the necessity to survive. Okay, and then without money, so just now you said with money what you can do, and you also mentioned if you don't have money what can happen. Okay, so without money we cannot continue our daily life. So with money we can buy a lot of things, okay, like food, okay, or the basic things, food, clothes, and books. Okay, so that is your first T. Okay, that is your T. your topic. Okay, so if you notice, the paragraph, the first paragraph is not that long. Okay, as long as you mention the topic of money and its importance, that will definitely consider to be your introduction. Okay, a very strong introduction about introducing the topic of money. Okay, now let's go to paragraph number 2. Remember paragraph 2, what do you need to write? Notes number 1. Okay, notes number 1 answering the first main idea question, which is what do you want to buy, right? Okay, please remember what are the items that you want to buy with the money that you have. Okay, how would you want to spend your money? Okay, to begin with, so I highlighted that in green because that is the set phrase. Okay, how you want to start your paragraph, you can use. Okay, it can be your cohesive devices. Okay, it can also be your cohesive devices. To begin with, okay, instead of just saying first or first of all, you can use slightly different phrase. Okay, that is where remember the just now tips for scoring good marks. Use some less common words. This is where you make use of that. Okay, that means this is not the everyday word that you can see. Okay, like if the word first, I think is very common, right? So try to come up with a different phrase or different words. Okay, that not people use it every day. Okay, to begin with, if I have money, okay, I would like to buy a laptop. So you already mentioned what you want to buy here, or a tablet. So either a laptop or a tablet. Okay, why? Okay, not yet. Okay, we don't give the reason yet. We just mentioned the item that we want to buy here. Okay, depending on the amount of money I have. Okay, however, okay, your connectors. I never thought of buying a laptop until I saw my friend with her brand new laptop. So now you give uh, the idea how do you come across, how do you come about buying a laptop, why do you want to buy a laptop? Okay, you come across why buying laptop as your wish list. Okay, so you said that because you saw your friend using it, okay, when they're doing the presentation in class, so you also want to have one. Okay, and then it has been on my wish list since then. Okay, so you can see that I did not mention the reason why you want to buy a laptop yet. I just mentioned the idea that comes to my mind why I want to buy a laptop. Okay, so that is how you elaborate for this notes number 1, which is the item that you want to buy. Okay, and now with online learning, so this is what. Okay, now sometimes we have to do sometimes we do online learning. Okay, so having a laptop is a blessing. Okay, or even if you want to use for your when you want to go to university, okay, to your college, okay, you might be using a laptop. Okay, now that is note number 1. Okay, now let's go to notes number 2. Remember, what is note number 2? What is note number 2? Yes. Okay, why you want to buy the item, reasons. Remember, reason, that means should be more than one. Okay, so how do you start your paragraph? One of the reasons, okay, for buying a laptop is the storage capacity. This is the first reason why you want to buy a laptop. Okay, because of the storage capacity, where where I can store more files as compared to my phone. Okay, you give the reason, you comparing why you want to buy a laptop more than buying a phone, because they have a bigger space, okay, compared to my phone. In addition, okay, this is your cohesive devices. Okay, in addition, I can comfortably do my homework. Okay, so let's say if you buy a phone, okay, or a tablet, it might not be that convenient for you to do your assignment, okay, or your homework. Okay, so that is why you want to buy a laptop instead. Okay, I can comfortably do my homework and assignment on a laptop than a smartphone with a bigger screen. Okay, so you see here, this the idea given here. You want to buy a laptop because you can do homework, assignment with a bigger screen. Okay, so you justify your idea here. Okay, the best part is you can get a laptop at cheaper prices. Why? Why do you say that you can get a laptop at cheaper prices? Because now a lot of people are going, especially when we had online learning last time, right? So a lot of people are going for a laptop. Okay, so the price has gone down. Okay, And then this is also to accommodate the home-based learning, okay, or the online learning at home, okay. So not even if there's no online learning, I think it's not a waste, okay, to have one laptop, okay, to prepare you to go for a university level, okay. So that is your N number 2, okay. Notes number 2, the reason why you want to buy a laptop, okay, or the item. Okay, now we move on to the next paragraph, which is paragraph 4. Okay, paragraph 4 is the next idea or the last question that you need to respond to. What is the last question? Yes. Where do you normally buy the item? Okay, so you have to mention the place here. Okay, so how do we start mentioning? How do we start giving the place? Okay, I usually buy gadgets, okay, at PH and Co or electrical shops like Ban Huat or Sankyu. So again, make sure you give the appropriate place of buying this item. Okay, you don't say that you buy this at other shop like coffee shop. Okay, so it's not relevant. So make sure it is relevant. Okay, and they offer. Why do you want to buy at this shop? Okay, because they offer reasonable prices. This shop, like these are the shop that normally I buy my gadgets or my electrical items. Why? Because they offer very good prices. Okay, that means the price is very negotiable with lots of vouchers. Okay, and also after sales service. Maybe if you have anything that you want to repair or anything that you want to ask, you can go back to that shop. Okay, so that is what the shop offer you. That's why you like to buy there. Okay, moreover, okay, another cohesive devices, I really bought gadgets online. I really bought gadgets online through Shopee or Lazada. It depends. If you are okay, if you are comfortable of buying this gadget online, go ahead. Okay, by all means, this is just an idea. Okay, so I really bought gadget online through Shopee or Lazada because whatever ideas you give, whether it is correct or not, just give your reason or just justify it. It doesn't matter whether there is a fact or there is not a fact. Okay, so you can give any ideas as long as you have the reason for that. So here the reason I give is because I have doubt about their warranty periods. Okay, so let's say maybe that shop they don't give you the warranty, the quality of the warranty that is from the shop itself. Okay, so that's why you don't like to buy online. Plus, okay, if you buy online, you have to pay the shipping cost, okay, or shipping charges that may be incurred. Okay, so whatever ideas you give, make sure they are relevant and they are suitable. Okay, that is what we meant by giving ideas. Okay, then that relevant to the task. Okay, last one, the last paragraph. To sum up, okay, so instead of saying in conclusion, finally, so try to come up with different phrase. Okay, to sum up, okay, I would rather spend my money on an important thing like a laptop. Okay, you just recap what you have mentioned. Okay, what you want to buy with your money that you have. Okay, laptop with the fact that it can help me in my studies and for my future. Okay, as the saying goes, okay, so maybe you can provide one or two idioms that is suitable for this topic. Okay, a wise person should have money in their head but not in their heart. Okay, so that means whatever you want to do, you think first before you buy anything. So that is the conclusion or the C. So remember, essay part 2, T and C. T for topic, N for notes, C for conclusion. Okay? Okay. 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 Now, if you have any question, again, you can type in the chat. Okay. And think I have one last thing for you to, yes, to recap for part 2 again. Okay. You just scan the QR code or you can just um, click at the link in the chat now. Okay. For part 2, just to recap what we have done in part 2. Okay. Okay, let's see your response. Okay.
Wow, we finish on time.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Okay, so the first question is, what are the number of words suggested for this part? Okay, I'm going to share the screen. Okay. Okay.
Let me guess. I wanted to say 120.
Okay. Close, very close. But it doesn't really matter actually. It's just that we want to make sure that they have enough time to answer all the three questions. Okay. So if they have time, if they have enough time, by all means they can write, okay, as many as they want, okay. But
Will there
just
be
not
any
to,
deduction of marks if they exceed the word limit?
no, there'll be no
Oh,
deduction of marks. Okay. The reason why we want to give them, or we want to control the number of words is, like I said, we only have 90 minutes. Okay. So for them to answer the three questions, so if they can manage the time, if they can use the time wisely, so should be able to answer all the three parts. Okay.
yeah, because some might have difficulties in starting, but once they start writing,
Yeah.
they can't stop.
Yeah. Okay. And then because I had the experience of the first year of this new format, if you are following the format or the activities that you're teaching in class, okay, and you, because this is the new format, okay, they have to have the more, it is more technical in a way, okay, not holistic. We are not marking it holistically, we are marking it technically. That means we have content, we have communicative achievement, we have organization and language. They can get good marks in content, and it is not, each element is not depending on each other. I mean, you're not looking at content. Let's say you get five, then your CA or your cognitive achievement, you get five. No, okay. You can get five for content, maybe your CA got two, okay, or your language got two. Okay? It can happen that way. Okay. We are not assessing it the same for all the four elements. We are assessing them separately. Okay. So this is actually an advantage to below average learners as well. Okay. Not only if you think you are very weak in English, but you can still pass. I would say you can still pass if you follow the correct format. Okay. Okay, we have, yeah, 120, 150. Okay, that is okay. But number two, 80 to 120 words. Okay, maybe you have to increase slightly from 80 to maybe 120
Or maybe I
onwards.
think they confused with the email. Email is started. The
Yeah,
email is 80, right?
yeah. Ending is 80, minimum of 80. Okay. So you can still continue giving your response. Okay. Okay. So I think with that, okay, that is the end of my sharing for tonight. Okay. Okay. So I pass this over to Teacher Nadia to wrap up everything.
Oh, thank you so much, Teacher Zarina. Okay, so don't forget this live tonight will be safe. So do pass this link to your friends for those who cannot make it, because yeah, we know today is a weekday, it's Wednesday. So I think
Yeah.
maybe they will watch this through the weekend. We hope so lah, right?
Mhm.
So thank you so much again, Teacher Zarina. See your number
Okay,
one
you're
fan here.
welcome. Okay.
Thank you so much, Widat University College.
Okay.
Hosting us
Thank
tonight, and don't
you.
forget to check it out, okay? Check them out. So that is all for today. Thank you so much. See you, bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye bye.